I'm good. Getting over some bruises, some soreness, but a couple flush outs, yesterday, today, practice will help a little bit.
Max, have you allowed yourself to just think about this is your last game playing for the national championship, and you can walk out of here, with a big ring on your finger and write heck the story?
Yeah, I guess I really haven't thought about it as like in terms of my last game. Like I understand it, but I guess I really haven't sunk in yet. I think it's something that'll probably sink in after. You'll feel a little bit better if we win the game on Monday and get to go out that way. But I guess it's not something that I'm really kind of thinking about right now.
What have you seen from Georgia's defense on film so far?
Yeah, no, they do a lot of things well. Obviously, they have some of the most talented players in the country, and they're so well coached and have some of the best coaches in the country. So that creates a lot of problems when you have such good players and such a good coaching staff. But no, man, they can fly around. They're big. They're powerful. They got speed and all aspects of their defense. Whether it's their front four, their backers, being able to go sideline to sideline, safeties, DBs, being able to move, play one-on-one, get to different parts of the field quickly after pre-snap, things of that sort. So there's going to be a lot of challenges, for us on Monday.
Max, did you get a chance to spend any time with Stetson and with Coach Smart during the Heisman Trophy? And was any takeaway from that?
I got to spend time with Stetson quite a bit. Coach Smart, I met for the first time that night and got to talk to him for a little bit, and we just had a short conversation. He was when I talked to him, it was right. He talked about the Baylor game, about our field goal, and he said that was something that was really good coaching and things that they went on, and I think practiced that next week. So something that he told us that he saw from watching. So I think that was pretty cool.
What are some of your thoughts on just Amari as not only a player but as a teammate?
Yeah, Amari, he's such a good dude. I love, I've been with him for the last 4 years here. He's been here a while, and I've got to, grow with him and be a part, and, our friendship and our relationship. But, obviously we know what he is on the field. He's such a, great player. He's a stud. He doesn't ever complain about touches or things of that sort. When he gets his opportunity, he goes in there and he helps us. And I think you saw that, against Michigan. But, the kid's a great leader. He's so smart. He's a humble kid. He helps a lot of the young guys, helps guys around us just, be better people, helps our program. He's a big reason why we're in this spot.
Max, it's a long way from Big 12 media days where TCU was picked 7th. How'd you get here?
I think just not listening to anything outside of our walls. Whether that was at Big 12 media days in preseason, people picking us 7th, it didn't really bother us. Any opinions outside of these walls and outside of our programs, we didn't listen to, whether it's good stuff, whether it's bad stuff. We see ourselves, how we see ourselves, and that's all that matters.
Hey, Coach Dyke said you guys have a lot to clean up on both sides of the ball. Was there some rust after the layoff, and do you think this cleaning up just will find a rhythm here?
Yeah, we just have to clean up. We didn't play well against Michigan. We made enough plays to win the game, but it wasn't like we played spectacular, one of our best games. I don't know if it was rust or anything like that. I just think it was one of those days where you didn't have your best stuff, but in games like that, you don't have to have your best stuff sometimes. You just, be able to compete and rely on guys, and when you need to make a big play, our guys were able to do that, and, that helped us win that game.
What was the difference that you saw with Quentin Johnson healthy? I think it's been a while. Did you see him play or move any differently as a result of him having all that time off?
Yeah, I think it helped a ton with him just kind of getting his fresh legs back, kind of resetting his body and his mind to be able to go out and play free. And obviously when he's playing at, his level and, 100%, he's a pretty big difference maker, as you can see. One play can really change the game, and he did that multiple times against Michigan. So having him at 100% really helps us, and he's just kind of a different cat than a lot of guys are on the field.
Max, what are some of the lessons that you carried from the Big 12 championship game into the playoffs?
I think just continuing to believe, and it's something hard to do after a loss, is to keep believing in yourself and the team. A lot of people, feel like they hit rock bottom when you lose something like that, when you have a loss like that, especially the first loss of your season. But I think continuing to stay, with your roots, the things that got us to this point, were something that, I kind of learned and we took as a team with us. And, I think you learn more about yourself after a loss than you do as a win. Kind of look yourself in the mirror a little bit more. But I think that's kind of something is that we continue to believe in each other and in this program and our coaching staff. That one game wasn't really going to define us and have a lingering impact on us for the rest of the year.
Max, there's been some ups and downs on the field for this team since you've been here, but there's also the big picture perspective of what TCU went through after the Southwest Conference broke up, all the conferences, the 2010 team. Have you even thought about the big perspective of everything? Or have you just so focused in on what y'all are doing right now?
Yeah, we're focused in on what we're doing, but we understand, there's been so many great teams and that have built this program up to get to where we are. I've had guys from, past teams that have been hitting me up and congratulating me and they're rooting for us because, whether it's teams back, in the Southwest Conference, teams, with Andy, the 2014 team, obviously there's so many other great teams that got us to this point, and we're trying to do it for those guys, the guys that put the jersey on before us, because this program and this university wouldn't be what we are without those guys. We wouldn't be able to have an opportunity to win a national championship without all the hard work and sacrifice that those guys made. So we're just trying to make those guys proud and give them something to root for.
Was there anybody that really kind of was surprised when you heard from them that reached out to you? Because I know that Coach Dyke says Marshawn Lynch reached out to him.
Yeah, I had some guys. I was like, Andy's been staying in contact with me. I think that's kind of a huge thing. A bunch of other guys from the 14 team, Kyle Hicks, Trayvon, guys like that. Some older guys that played back in the day, 2000s, kind of the back then. But yeah, it's just been a lot of fun to hear some support from those guys that they're watching. They want this just like they were when they were playing.
Will you talk to anyone about SoFi ahead of time who's played in there?
I have some guys that have some connections that have played there. I have some guys that have played in the playoffs. I know some guys that have played in the Super Bowl. I had some help, going into the last game about kind of the difference between, a regular season game, even a league championship game, and then going into a playoff game, a national championship, because there's so many different distractions, whether it is with SoFi, celebrities being there, marketing teams, all the kind of the corporation based event, things of that sort. So there's just a lot kind of going on, and to kind of not think about that and just be focused in on the game is where we're at. I think Coach Dykes, Coach Kaz are doing a great job of implementing that mindset into us right now and this week. So
how have you grown as a leader? How have you grown as a leader this year? How do you think this collective experience helps you lead this team in this game?
Yeah, I think I've grown a lot in an aspect of being a leader. Obviously you always want to be a vocal leader, things of that sort. And I know a lot of people say lead by example, but I think there's always something more than that. I think everybody, leads by example. But I think something that I kind of took over this year of kind of changing my narrative of being a leader, of not, caring more about others than really yourself. Making sure that other people are in the right spot and are being successful rather than myself. Kind of taking it to the chin more than putting on other people. And I think that's something where I've grown in my aspect of being a leader, and our team has as well, of being those guys that think about others and think about the team and think about this program rather than yourself, and it's helped us get to this point.
Max, I know what Kaz does from a physical standpoint, but from a mental and psychological standpoint, what does he do for you guys?
No, he's incredible. I don't think people really realize, what he does for us and how valuable he is. Obviously, you think of a strength and conditioning coach, you're like, okay, weight room, running, things of that sort in the offseason. But, his sports psychology talks with us leading up to every single game throughout the week of, like I said, how do we see ourselves? And he does so much stuff to create a different mindset, to think outside the box, to put a different meaning into our program and into ourselves. And he's so invaluable, he's so valuable, where we couldn't imagine, being here without him. So,
Max, if you win this game, your name is right up there with Sammy Ball. What does that mean to you?
Yeah, if you ever get, mentioned with the greats like that, it means a lot. There's been so many guys here that, have built this program, but like I said, they're on the Mount Rushmore. You get guys like Sammy Baugh, David Ryan, Andy, Trayvon, LT, Bob Lilly. There's so many more guys that have built this program up. So when you get, you know, the opportunity to be in, you know, the likes of those guys, it's pretty special.
And Max, because of the circumstances behind this season, the way it started, I think there's this prevailing thought that you guys don't have to win Monday night to win the game, to win the season. Do you feel that way? You've already won in some ways?
I mean, we want to win that game. Yeah, don't get us wrong. We're not going in there thinking, you know, we don't want to. I know a lot of people are having that discussion of, you know, reflection-wise of, you know, you have a great season, but I think the biggest thing is, like, you want to win that last game of the year. Doesn't matter what it is. That's our goal right now, and that's something that we want, and I think, you know, we'd be pretty disappointed, you know, if we weren't able to, so that's our goal right now. And that's what we're planning on doing, so.
Max, Gary Patterson was one of your biggest defenders here, and I spoke to you after the Texas game. Have you spoken to him at all about, you know, just, you know, what you guys did in terms of winning the championship and being able to play for him?
Yeah, no, Coach Patterson has done, you know, he stayed in contact with me, and we've talked throughout the season. He has a lot of support, and, you know, all of these guys in our program, and he's been watching from afar and rooting for us, so, you know, it's been fun to see him continuing to support us, continue to stay in contact with a lot of guys that, you know, he recruited and spent a lot of time with here.
Anything else for Max?